In these problems, we're doing some multiplying and dividing with with scientific notation and numbers that could be written in scientific notation. And I think what they want to do here is show you that you can do some shorthand stuff. So if you're caught without a calculator, these problems maybe are easier than they look. So I'll show you how to do that. However, most sane human beings would probably use a calculator in this day and age to do these. And if you learn how to do them by hand and then go ahead and use a calculator, especially if it's to check your work, I think that's totally fine. But let's look at this one. It says divide 0.0014 by 70,000. You probably wouldn't be able to do that in your head very easily. But if you look at the numbers that are here, we have a 14 and a 7, really. And you know how to divide 14 by 7. That's just 2. So the trick is to rewrite these with scientific notation. And remember, with scientific notation, you take the decimal point and you move it and then multiply it by a power of 10 based on the number of points you move the decimal point, number of places you moved it. So let's try that. In this first one, we're going to move to the right here. 1, 2, 3, and I'm actually going to go 4 so that I get a 14. So I could write this as 14 times 10, and in this case it's to the negative fourth, because we've got that really small number, 0.0014. I moved it 4 places to the right, it becomes negative 4. We're going to divide that by, well, I'm going to move the decimal point here to the left, so 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 7 times 10 to the fourth, the positive fourth, because that's a bigger number. I moved it to the left. Now, let's do the division, and let's do it piece by piece. 14 divided by 7, well, that's just 2. 10 to the negative fourth divided by 10 to the fourth. When the bases are the same, and you're dividing, you can just subtract exponents. So really, this becomes negative 4 minus 4, so that is 10 to the negative eighth. So that's the trick they want you to know. My calculator does this pretty easily, though. So if I were really seeing this problem in the real world and I needed to solve it for some real purpose, I would just go to my calculator and type in 0.0014 and then divide it by 70,000. And it would give me the same thing. In this case, my calculator doesn't write times 10. It just puts the exponent there. So 2 times 10 to the negative eighth. That's how we'd read that one. All right. Let's try another one. So again, they want you to write these in a way that's going to make it easy to do the division or the multiplication. On the top, I guess we could write this as 9 times 4. So let's change these so that instead of 9,000 times 10 to the negative 1th, it's 9 times 10 to the something times 4 times 10 to the something. So in both these cases, we're going to move the decimal point to the left. 1, 2, 3. So that's 3. So this is 9 times 10 to the third times 10 to the negative first. So what that means is when we're multiplying, the bases are the same. The 10 to the, so this is 9 times 10 to the third. If I multiply that by this 10 to the negative 1, I add the exponents. So this really comes out to be 9 times 10 to the second. So that's 900 right there. This 4,000 is 1, 2, 3, 4 times 10 to the third. Okay, so that's our top. Our bottom, let's write this as the number 2, so we're going to move to the right here, 1, 2. So that's 2 times 10 to the negative 2. And then we have 3 times 10 to the fourth. Now we can multiply our numbers out here and our powers of 10, and then try to do the division and see what we get. So 9 times 4 is 36, and 2 times 3 is 6. That's handy. Let's do our powers of 10. 10 to the second times 10 to the third. We add exponents when we multiply the same base raised to powers. So that's times 10 to the fifth. And here we have the negative second and the positive fourth. Again, we're going to add the exponent. So 10 to the negative second times 10 to the fourth is 10 to the second. Now let's do our division. 36 divided by 6 is 6. 10 to the 5th divided by 10 to the 2nd, while we subtract exponents with division, so this is 10 to the 3rd. You, of course, could have done that on your calculator. Just type in 9,000 times 10 to the negative 1st times 4,000 divided by 0.02 times 3 times 10 to the 4th. Whichever way is easier for you, I am fully in support of. All right. Let's look at this next one. Multiply this number times that number. So let's just make this the problem 3 times 3. So let's change this one to 3. It's already times 10 to the negative 5th, and we're going to be adding to that. We're going to move the decimal point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more places to the left. So just this chunk is 3 times 10 to the negative 5th, and then we have the times 10 to the negative 5th. We add those exponents together when we multiply. Negative 5 plus negative 5 is negative 10. So that becomes 3 times 10 to the negative 10th. This one, we're going to move the exponent, or the decimal point this way. 1, 2, 3, 4 places. So this is going to be times 3 times 10 to the 4th. So let's multiply this part. 3 times 3 is 9. And then let's multiply this part. 10 to the negative 10th times 10 to the 4th. We just add the exponents. We get 10 to the negative 6th. So that's a little bit of work with multiplying and dividing scientific notation problems.